Welcome to Safe Coalition, Confronting Our Crisis. I'm Ann Bergen, co-host of this program, along with Jim Derrick, who is the president of the Safe Coalition and the creator of this series of programs, really to highlight the mission of the Safe Coalition, which essentially is to support individuals and their families who are struggling with the disease of substance use disorder. And we just learned a new statistic today that there were 72,000 deaths last year alone across the country from overdoses. It is truly an epidemic. We're learning more and more about the nature and history of this disease, that doctors were misled, were lied to by pharmaceutical companies that many of these opioids were not addictive. We learn now about the forces that are out there to try to keep people addicted, particularly through the illegal drugs that are flooding the country, the money to be made from this. But more powerfully, we're learning about the connection to mental health issues and the association with substance use to mental health, particularly early childhood trauma. Mental health issues are epidemic in our country, and we're seeing where people are self-soothing by food, by social media, by overspending and using substances. But the people who are most aggressively dealing with the issue of substance use disorder are those who have lived with this disease, are living with it, particularly those who have lost loved ones to this disease. And what they have done is transformed their grief and pain into action. And I firmly believe, and I know most people out there know, that they are truly heroes in our community. So I'm going to turn it over to Jim and have you speak a little bit about some of those heroes we're going to be.
Right. And you know, we've seen in the history of the coalition, we've seen a lot of people that have done amazing things, turning their grief, their loss, their experience into strength and hope for other people. Mm-hmm. And two of those people are on the program today. And those are the founders of GillysHouse. That's David and Barbara Gillmeister, who tragically lost their son Stephen to an opioid overdose, a fatal opioid overdose. And Stephen Gillmeister is the namesake of GillysHouse. So we're excited about bringing the audience out to see this brand new sober home, which is located in the Sheldonville section of Rentham. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful, grand looking property, which you'll see, but importantly brings real healing and real respite to both people that are suffering themselves from substance use disorder and their families, as we'll find out. This has really been a community project which has brought already, even before its opening, brought a lot of healing. And now that it's open, we'll bring a lot of resources to our community right here in this area, which is something we desperately need. So today, we are going to take a tour of GillysHouse. Both Ann and myself will be guiding that tour. We hope to give you an inside look at not only how the Gillmeisters conceived this project, but what this project ultimately looks like now that it's been completed. So you should know that GillysHouse is located, as I said before, in the Sheldonville area of Rentham. It's at 1022 West Street in Rentham. Their phone number will be listed on this program along with their website. I encourage anybody that sees this or is interested in actually meeting the Gillmeisters or looking at the project to do just that and get in touch with them.
I just am so excited to have a tour of this beautiful facility and all that it means, you know, to the young people who are going to be part of this adventure. So I'm hoping you'll kind of take me through and I get a chance to see it for the very, very first time.
I would love to. I'm so excited to show you what we've created here. So when we purchased this property only 5 months ago, it had been a nursing home before
5 months.
that. Only 5 months. I have to keep reminding myself that. It had been vacant for 15 years. It had been kept up inside, as in the heat was on and everything, but nothing had really been done to it in 15 years. And the entire place had wallpaper on it, like 50-year-old wallpaper.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
So we had our work cut out for us when we came. So this at one time, we think, was the nurses' smoking station.
Yes.
Because it had a vent in the ceiling and it went to the outside, and the ceiling was a little on the yellow side, so we replaced the ceiling and did a lot of interior design. We've been very lucky in the amount of volunteers that we've had here and the quality of the volunteers. And
now, is this space a sort of a reception area?
This
so
is reception.
So it's sort of this
when people
welcoming, come in.
We have nice, comfortable furniture and some books on the shelves, and this could be a waiting area.
Yeah,
for
but it's
people.
very homey, isn't it? So you want that the impression is people to feel that it's sort of enveloped in warmth, and that's the feeling
That's
you
what
get,
we
right?
want.
When you
Great,
come in. Yeah,
great.
you can feel
That's
it.
what people say. So
All right,
moving
let's
right along,
move along.
the area here was the nurses' station, and now this is Command Central.
Right.
So we redid the space a little bit. Used to be pink Formica here and a whole bunch of mailboxes, and we redid and redesigned the space and decided it would be very useful the way that it is.
Yeah. The colors are very soothing, too. I like that.
That was our interior
Yeah.
designer
Yes.
helped us pick those things out.
Oh, so you had someone
So
helping with
I
it.
helped-
Yes.
I had somebody
yeah.
who volunteered to help
Yeah.
out with where to place furniture and where to place pictures and colors and.
And I think as we
those
go
kinds
through,
of
I think the
things.
thing that's going to probably stand out the most is the amount of people who came together with you. You had this
Unbelievable.
incredible vision, but people wanted to follow you to this because how, right?
It turned out to be way more than we ever could have imagined.
That's, yeah, this is yeah, an act of love.
Okay, so moving along, this is the dining room. And years ago in nursing homes, people were fed in their rooms. So there was no dining room in the house.
Oh, that's right. Those in the old days, right? Yeah.
Right. And now, of course, that's not the case. So we broke down this wall between these two rooms to make a larger space. And again, everything was donated here. All the furniture, pictures, everything that you see was all donated.
And once again, it has that sort of communal, cozy feel to it, right? You know, so it's not this sterile kind of institutional feel. It is a home. It's a home,
Every space is different here.
Right?
And we've hung up a lot of inspirational sayings all over the house, and some of them were donated, and I had a woman who created them artistically, and that's been wonderful.
Wow.
Watch your step there.
I think sometimes people think of like sober houses like an institution, but this is just so opposite of that, isn't it?
It very much so. Let me turn on a couple lights here. So when we purchased the property, it was an old industrial kitchen, and I actually have some pictures of what that looked like. So here's.
Holy smoke.
It hadn't been touched in 15 years.
Right. And it sure looks like that, yeah.
The only money that exists for sober houses from anything, government, insurance, or anything, is a grant that we were able to secure through Mass Housing. And Ed Chase was just an amazing person there. And we were able, it's a capital improvement grant. And we got that money, and we were able to put in a brand new kitchen. We tore this entire kitchen out, and as well as we needed a huge new septic system that the seller cost shared with us, or else we wouldn't have been able to afford it. And so everything you see here is all brand new.
Oh.
And we have essentially 2 kitchens, because when we are full and we have 22 guys here, you need more than one stove for people
especially,
to cook on. I mean,
22.
everybody's not going to be cooking at the same time, but even so. So in here we have 2 stoves, 2 dishwashers, 3 refrigerators, lots of cabinet space. This side is accessible for a wheelchair. This side of the kitchen purposely is accessible for a wheelchair.
So the residents cook their own meals.
They do.
This is really, it's not as if they're being kind of taken care of. This is all about responsibility and accountability and all of that, right? So,
exactly.
Yeah, wow. But you're giving them a surrounding that feels like home. You know? So it's
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to be offering all kinds of transitional life skills programming here. So some of it is going to be some cooking lessons. So
Very
that
good
they can
idea.
actually use the stove and not just the microwave.
Oh my goodness! I wish I had that. You know, I missed that whole thing. But but you're right, because that builds confidence and skills, right?
Right.
And it's all part of your mission, right?
So when you leave here, we want it so that you have the skills, not only that you have your sobriety in check, but that you have the skills to live independently.
Absolutely. Right.
Successfully.
Yeah.
And that you know how to take care of your finances and you understand how checking accounts work. And if your credit was messed up when you got here, hopefully we've helped untangle that web and made it something that you can move forward with. And so we have all kinds of things. We have people coming to talk about advancing your education, whether that's getting a GED or you're interested in some college or a certificate program, or looking at interest surveys. Maybe you really don't know what you're sure you want.
Because so many, it's the idea of they've kind of lost that purpose. No reason to get out of bed in the morning, exactly. But now with the skills and that you're helping to provide, to say, what, we can have the confidence now to go out, right?
And exactly. So that's what we're aiming for here.
That's incredible.
So we're going to start looking at a couple of bedrooms.
Oh, this is what I want to see, yes.
Yeah. Oop, wrong light here. I just want to get some. Whoops. There we go.
Oh my.
So this is one of the bedrooms.
Wow.
Something amazing happened when we started working on the inside of the house. And I had an amazing couple walk through the door one Sunday afternoon. Bill and Paula Rollins came in and said, we were at church this morning and they were talking about Gillys House, and we felt as though they were speaking to us and we needed to come over here. So they came over here that Sunday afternoon and said, they lost their son last October, and they said, can we dedicate a bedroom in his name and do the whole bedroom over? So it snowballed, and what's happened is every single bedroom, I have one more that we're working on, every single bedroom has been taken over by parents or loved ones for this cause. So actually this bedroom is in the name, it's going to be called Kenny's bedroom. And the Emmanuel Baptist Church of Norfolk painted and put down carpeting and bedding and painted furniture, and they worked with a gentleman who Kenny was a friend of. So
what an emotional experience. It must have been for both you and for them to see, their son's life sort of have a chance to kind of live on, and right? It's
everybody here. And it gave parents and loved ones a chance to do something positive out of such tragedy in their families.
Absolutely.
And so many people, I think, of course it's depressing, but so many people don't know what to do with themselves other than being sad, which you're always going to be, but nothing to do in a positive way. And I've said to people, Gillys House isn't just a house for recovery, but it really has become a house of healing for so many people.
That's right. That's right. That's a beautiful way to frame it. Yep.
Okay, we're going to walk upstairs.
Look at this.
Yeah, so this is going to be a rec room. It has a TV and a foosball table. This piece of furniture is being moved upstairs.
Wow. Oh, look at all the sports. I see. This is very, very, very good. Yeah. Wow.
So there's a saying up there on the wall. Some parents in Walpole, Kate and Scott Sandvos, are going to personalize this room a little bit more in their son's name. Their son's name is Will. They started a small foundation called Where There's a Will, There's a Way, and that just works beautifully here.
Absolutely.
So like I said, we've had so many people volunteer and donate either time or services or expertise We've had union electricians offer time that have spent hours and hours and hours here doing over plugs and just all kinds of things. And people in long-term recovery, we had a plumber here who did lots of work for us. And then we've had companies. So we're going to walk up the stairs here, and I have to say Classic Floor Coverings of Rentham was wonderful. I have to put in plugs where they are due.
Absolutely.
And they put in the carpeting on both our stairways for us, and just like that.
It is a nice softening effect, doesn't it?
It's wonderful.
It really is, yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. Oh, look at this room. Oh, my.
So this is Brian's room. This was just completed over the weekend. And like I said, every room takes on a little different personality.
You can tell. It has a different feel from the other.
It does. Yeah.
Oh, my.
And you can tell the love that goes into all of these rooms. Just attention to so much detail and pride. And
it's a room you'd want for your own child.
Right.
You said, if my child is going through this, this is what I would want for my child, who's suffering with this disease, and to be able to come here.
And the rooms are huge, so
They are
there's
huge,
plenty of room.
It's not like a college dorm where, this is...
Right, this is huge compared to a college dorm.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
this is great. Oh, yeah.
And, as we are nonprofit, if you were for-profit, you might think to, put more people in a room. But we wanted to make it, when you're in recovery, you have enough to deal with one person, let alone with 2 or 3 other personalities in your own
In the best
bedroom.
of circumstances,
Exactly.
that doesn't work.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's why we've left it to 2 people in a bedroom.
It's just remarkable how it does take on every room a different flavor, a different feel,
does.
right?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you this space. So this is going to be a bedroom.
So this is what those,
kind of look like. So this is going to be Terry's room. And Terry's grandparents raised him, and they came to us and wanted to do something in his name. And we want to work with everybody. So this isn't about money and being able to afford to redo bedrooms and things like that. So there was a door here that we didn't need anymore. And we wanted to make the whole wall.
Yeah.
And so I had somebody generously donate the supplies to cover up this wall. And then I have somebody from the courthouse who's actually doing the work to make that wall a reality. And I can see that they've just purchased some carpeting. And everybody's a family here now. So in Brian's room, Lynn's son is lays carpeting, and he's going to lay the carpeting for them in here. So, we're all sharing, we're all in this together.
I like the word you said, that we've become a family. That really is it, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is kind of what some of the bedrooms looked like, which some people had said, well, it really is fine. And with all due respect, it is better than in some sober recovery houses that you would go to. But I have a mom whose son passed away 5 years ago, who I spoke to last week, who's going to start personalizing this room in her son's name.
But you can see the before and after and what they become, right?
Right. I mean, it is certainly decent and clean, and we painted this room, but I think it probably will be painted something else, which is fine.
Yep.
We have a little...
Oh, another little...
Just a little nook room.
Like for reading... Oh, sorry. Quiet space, sorry,
a quiet space,
yes,
a little space to even get away more, a little counseling space, or it's cozy in here. And we have a couple sayings up in here, and it's just a nice little...
I like the fact there's so much light in here as well.
The windows are terrific here.
For an older building, it's,
nice and big.
This is huge. This is huge.
So this was all wallpapered.
Yeah, that's.
You have to keep that in mind. And I have to say, many high school hands.
Oh, that's the
helped
worst.
Helped to take off all the wallpaper there.
Oh my.
So this is Jeffrey's room.
Look at this.
And again, you know, totally different personality here. Jeffrey was into music. We have one of his guitars.
So when people come, would they choose a room, or do you?
They've chosen a room.
So you would so that they would choose one that feels matches
Right,
or whatever.
for them.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah.
They've chosen the rooms. They've really done absolutely whatever they've wanted in the rooms.
Yeah.
Up to them. And the personality of each room is really just
you can tell.
amazing.
Everyone
And-
is different, but still has that warm, inviting.
And that's something that I never pictured when we first bought the property. I just figured we'll clean it up and, you know, get it in good condition so that young men could move in. And then this happened. It really
And you know what? I
snowballed.
think that speaks to the idea that when these young men come to say, you know what, someone thinks we deserve this.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
They're not giving us, you know, junk. They're giving us something beautiful, and
Right.
they think we deserve this.
Right.
I think that sets the tone right there.
It does,
Absolutely.
because when they come in here, their self-esteem really is non-existent. And when they come in, they will get all their bedding, they will get toiletries. I'll show you the personal clothes closet that we have.
I can't wait to see that.
So,
Yes.
you know, they're gonna feel like that. I'm gonna leave this room. You're gonna take a look at that in a couple minutes
that's-
with
yes,
Lenny,
yep.
okay? So this is the first room that was done. This is Matthew's room.
Oh yeah.
And Matthew was a fisherman.
Oh look, yep.
And he was a fisherman in Alaska. So this is one of his fishing poles up
Oh
here.
wow.
And the walls were painted blue to match the ocean. And again, I mean, you can tell how much love and caring has gone
yeah.
into this room.
Just the nice little touches, the plants, and you know, just. I would feel, just as a resident coming in, just enveloped.
Yeah.
I would feel it. You know, you can just, yeah.
So this is the personal clothes closet.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Look at this.
And actually, we've collected a few more things. So, I mean, there will be some guys who will come here with really nothing, and others who may have some clothes, but maybe not better clothes. And there are a lot of better clothes in here. So, if someone has an event to go to, whether it's, you know, a doctor's appointment or a family event, you know, something that they want to look better in. We have ties and shoes and shirts and suits and pants and jackets.
And again, kind of all donate. Are you still looking for donations for this, or do you feel like you have enough at this time, or you'll put the call out when you need it?
We'll put the call out, perfect.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Because I think, you know, once we start, some of this starts to be used out of here, then we'll definitely be looking for replacements.
Again, and then it speaks to confidence, self-esteem, going
Absolutely.
on and feeling proud, right?
Looking good, feeling good.
That's right.
Then we're lucky that we have so many spaces.
Oh
Some of them
my,
we're not
look at
100%
this.
sure what we're doing with. So this is either for, we're staffed 24 hours a day. So if there were, come winter time, if there was a night that a staff person couldn't drive home at night or something, it's an extra bed space.
Yep.
It also could be a counseling area, private space between a staff person and a resident.
Yeah.
And it's great that we have some of these spaces
Oh,
here. that we
absolutely.
can
But you're
decide
absolutely
what
right.
we
There
wanna
just
do
may
with.
be that occasion where someone does
Right.
have to stay, and you've got a nice place. Yeah, that's perfect.
Then we have James's room behind you.
Oh my goodness! Look at this. Look at the light, the window. Oh my! Wow. The colors. Wow. What do we know about? Oh,
This
James
just
must
made
have
by
been interested in the sailing and the, yeah. Wow.
And this was done by a Franklin family. I mean, the families are sort of all over,
Yeah.
but
And a lot of this is donated?
Everything you see here was donated.
Wow.
By one person or another,
Right.
everything was donated.
But the quality, it's not, I mean, those comforters, you know, they're just beautiful.
They are.
Oh, my.
They're not institutional.
No, they're
It's very much like you're in somebody's house.
Oh, yeah.
Like you would come here for a weekend and stay as a guest.
This is like if you were right at a hotel and at a resort. It truly is. It's that feel when you walk in.
Absolutely.
Oh, my.
And then behind you, so we have another bedroom. This is John's room, and it hasn't really been personalized yet. So the mom, actually sister, is coming to work on this starting next week.
That was genius to give it the personalized touch, really.
And what's interesting is, so the woman who came, who's going to do this room, is an acquaintance of mine. I didn't know her this story that I'll tell you, and she just wanted to drop some things off. And I hadn't seen her for years. She kind of lives in my neighborhood, but she came and brought some things. And I always say to people who come, I never let you leave without a tour. So as we took a tour and we got sort of to the end of the tour, she had said to me, my brother passed away from a heroin overdose 30 years ago. You couldn't talk about that then.
Absolutely not. The stigma
hard enough
associated,
today,
of course.
let alone 30
Right.
years ago. And I think she's had to live with that all these years. So by the time we got here, she said, I want to do this room. So,
wow.
Now last week, I had a meeting with all the parents of all the rooms, parents and loved ones of all these rooms. And that group of people, what happens is you finish your room, you put all this time and effort into it, you finish the room, and I had somebody say, so now what do I do? Yeah. And so we're forming a foundation, so to speak, a group that is going to make their own decisions about moving ahead, staying connected to the house, things that they can do, whether it's fundraising or cooking Sunday meals or any kind of thing.
These are the families.
The families that have all done these rooms. So we had a meeting last week, last Thursday night. We all got together and I passed along this idea. They also, I think, are going to publish some stories, if you will, from a parent's perspective of things that they've gone through and brought them to this day, so that maybe that can be shared with others, with other parents who are going through things similarly. And it's always good to know, here's somebody else's story. So we have all kinds of plans for things moving forward.
It's remarkable when you think about it, because it's sort of bonding and connecting for the residents, but like you said, it's bonding and connecting for the families, because it's that healing piece that's so for the families
that you want to
as
stay
well,
connected.
right? That's
absolutely,
right. Yes,
absolutely.
So speaking of the beautiful outdoors,
Speaking of beautiful outdoors, so
we have this wonderful front porch, which I always looked at when I drove by and thought, wow. And I know this must have been a focal point for Gilly when he was walking by with his childhood friend.
He did. He and Kyle would walk by and talk about doing something with this building. You know, to them, to two young boys, I mean, it is huge even to an adult, but to two young boys, seemed like such a huge building that it would be a lot of fun to make into something.
Right.
And they used to think about that.
You know, I look at this and I think about sitting out here on a nice warm summer day. You've got the traffic going by, which is really nice because I've always loved front porches. They seem pretty therapeutic. But there's a lot of space here for residents to do things. They can garden, they can meditate, read.
I think we haven't even thought of everything.
Right.
So we have as much space as there is from the street to the end of the parking is we have as well beyond the stone wall. So we have lots of land. We haven't decided anything. Well, you know, you need to let the guys think about that too, so they can have ownership as well.
I was going to say there's a lot of room for them to a lot of stuff for them to maintain here too, which is good for the soul, right?
A lot of lawn mowing.
A lot of landscaping.
Yeah, absolutely.
Terrific.
So I have a vegetable garden over here.
Yeah, and again,
all the gardens were all put in by My next door neighbor, Karen Plum, helped to design a lot of the landscaping around the house, but groups of people came and put in all the beds and the flowers, and then down over here we have a vegetable garden that actually was put in by my banker.
Really?
And a woman over at Mass Rehab.
Milford National.
At Milford National. Shafali came over, and she and Braun Lafferty from Mass Rehab came over and dug the whole thing.
And you know, Barbara,
did a little planting.
Again, I know we've said it a number of times, but it's just amazing that you really have asked for nothing. But yet when you tell the story, people trip over themselves to get here.
People, absolutely,
it's
absolutely.
awesome. And so you can actually point at things that people that started as a vendor to you wound up coming in and taking care of.
Absolutely.
And behind us, you have what, a couple of acres back there?
We have, so behind here, as far as it goes from the street to here, is as much room as we have back there. So we have walked back up there, David and I. I mean, it's all treed, and you know, I have no idea what you could do back there, but
right.
I don't have to think about that part. I'm thinking about the inside here now.
I understand. And you've got a nice gazebo over there for
beautiful gazebo,
reading or what have you.
We have, you know, donated outside furniture. That we have some wooden picnic tables and benches that I got from Tri-County, and so truly community.
Yeah. Barbara and David, thanks so much for this wonderful tour of Gillys House. Importantly, how can people help you sustain this effort and Gillys House moving forward?
People could go to our website and make a donation. We could really, we would really like to build the scholarship fund and be able to help as many young men as possible who are really serious about their recovery. So that would be wonderful if they went to our website.
Great. Well, as always, people, make sure that you get to the website. Make sure you like them on Facebook to be able to keep up with everything that's going on here at Gillys.
Boy, what an honor it was, Jim, for me to walk through and be able to see that transformation that we talked about into this beautiful sober home, a place for recovery, and just to see, I think what I was most impressed with, all of the efforts of the community to support it, that to support the vision of these two parents, and to see what came of people sharing their love and compassion, and pretty powerful, right?
It's tremendously powerful. The community responded in a big way. We had everybody from schools sending out school-aged children and administrators to the court system, law enforcement. It was amazing the amount of people that when you turned up on a weekend, you'd see people like ants crawling all over this place and transforming it, scraping walls, painting, putting in carpeting and flooring. But I think, as you saw, Ian, it's anything but institutional. It's a real homey
Oh, it's so warm
environment.
And absolutely, inviting and just where you would want the people that you love to be able a place to gain back that self-confidence and all of the things that they lost through this disease.
Right. So. And how about the impact of having those individualized rooms that have been dedicated to loved ones that have been lost? It's really something.
Reflecting the nature of those lives that were lost, but knowing that they're, even in their deaths, they're continuing to inspire others and to
And I do hope people will take a look at the companion piece to this, which is the interview with the Gillmeisters and others that have that are working on at Gillys House. I think it's a good
inspiration,
a good package,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to remind you that the SAFE Coalition stands ready to help should you or someone you know suffer from substance use disorder. You can call our resource line at 508-488-8105. You can also find us on the internet at www.safecoalitionma.org. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. So for Ann Bergen, my name's Jim Derrick saying thanks for watching.
This program was made possible by your Franklin friends and neighbors, good folks just like you. Thanks for supporting Franklin TV. And thanks for watching.